Hello, dear friends. Here we are. Thought and Life by Emmanuel. 30 days of inner journey. And we're also here live at KardecRadio.com. Yes, Kardec Radio now has a tuning radio app, 2 channels, and also one with the podcasts and the other one, the live stream, the continuous 24/7 stream. And we're also live there, so if you cannot watch us from Facebook page at Kardec Radio, you can go straight to KardecRadio.com and listen to it, okay? So today, in this beautiful journey, learning about the directives for a new birth, incarnation, we are going today to talk about the beautiful chapter 28. Illness. Illness, we don't want to talk about it. Why do we have to talk about it? We'll get to know why. Well, it's part of life, right? It's part of life. Let's get to know more. First, why Emmanuel is writing this. This is a book published in 1958 in Portuguese through the medium Chico Xavier. And then in 2012, the Round Table Publishing in the UK, through the efforts of Elsa Rossi and friends of the British Union of Spiritist Societies, Janet Duncan and others, they revived the first translation of the book into English by Salim Haddad, a Brazilian Lebanese who naturalized American and lived in the United States and founded the first Spiritist Center in North Carolina in 1965 with Chico Xavier and Valdo Vieira. And this book came along in 2012. The copyrights are by the British Union of Spiritist Societies, but thanks to the efforts of the Spiritist Group of New York, through Jussard and Joan Carngold, you can buy the copy of this book right there, okay? Just go there and buy the copy of the book for you. Oh, yes. It's a book that is a must to have it on our nightstand. Read it when you wake up, read it when you sleep. Read it when you wake up, read it when you sleep, okay? Let's say hi to our community before we read this chapter and dissect it. As we say in anatomy, we dissect each and every bone, each and every muscle, each and every pathway to understand more about this inner journey. Without knowing ourselves, we can't go places. So progress is assured when we know more of ourselves. And Emmanuel is helping us. Hello, Leonor and Valeria Benfica. Wonderful friends from Brazil, from the United States. Rihanna, hello, friend. Rihanna, today I talked to friends in Florida about a book drive that Kardec Radio is launching this weekend. And you get to know we're preparing the flyer. We're asking for international help to have a book drive and send you, the Spiritist friends, through you and your husband, the Spiritist books in general, okay? So if any of you who is listening to us and you want to contribute, just write to us at kardecradio@gmail.com and we'll let you know how you can contribute. So South Africa and its Spiritist group there through Rihanna, it's a home group, but you know, that's how it all begins. They can have access to these books. Hello, Julija from Australia. Beautiful. Solange. Sunshine. Hello, California. Angelira, New York. Leia Severo. Hello, Florida. And Karina. Whoa, you and Valera are a team in Brazil, huh? Beautiful team. Hello, Constance. Love the flowers. Signatures of love. Deep peace, everyone. You're right. João Bosco. Hello, friend. Hello. Hello, Rita Di Cássia. Woo. Hearts. And Jussara. Hello, Margaret, hello. It's good to have you here, Constance. Patrícia and Yara Gouveia, the mom of our hearts, right? Thank you, Yara. Thank you, friends. Now, illness. Let us recall that this book could be analyzed in many ways, but we're not here analyzing just for the sake of it, but for our own experience, to enhance our experience, knowing more of ourselves. When we read a book, we need to observe the point of view of the writer to get the most of it. Try to understand, like Dion Denise says, when you're reading, you're connecting to the mind of the author. So now we're connected, and we need to know. Talking to our dear Emmanuel. And Emmanuel, clearly, it's as if he composed in three main parts. The first one, the first 10 chapters, about the foundation of our minds. The second 10 chapters, it's about how an incarnation or reincarnation happens, the many elements. And in this third part, these last 10 chapters of this book, he talks about pathways we take often and tools we can use to succeed in an incarnation as well. Okay? Inevitably, in new birth, illness is going to happen. Think about a newborn baby now. A baby that is just born. Okay? Think about it. Oh, we're so happy, but realistically, in this planet, somebody's being born and you bet at some point they're going to get sick. And we're like distraught, we parents, right? When we see our children sick, like, oh no, how come? And we often think, like many people in the world nowadays, are we being punished? Is this God's punishment? There are many people who think like this. No, God doesn't punish us. But illness exists. And from now to death, illness is going to happen. I mean, this is not an affirmation for us, oh, I'm going to get sick. But in order for me to be transformed, the body needs to give room to the liberation of the spirit. The definition of death in Spiritism is not that the spirit ran away from the body, because there are people who think that their loved ones died, abandoning them. And I say, friends, I mean, unless they committed suicide, which is another story. But when somebody dies out of a chronic illness, etc., they can't run away from the body like that unless they commit suicide or somebody kills them. But if I remember one person telling one day, oh, I feel that my dad abandoned me. How did he die? Out of a chronic illness. I said, you think he abandoned you? How? He can't walk away like this. Well, psychology would help, psychotherapy would help in that end, but we're just discussing here the concept. Death needs that the body doesn't allow our life to be sustaining it anymore. And then discarnation is the next step. It's when the molecule by molecule bonds between the perispirit and the physical body need to be cut, need to be erupted, in order for the spirit that is enveloped by the perispirit to be freed. That's the mechanism. So at some point, illnesses will happen. What is illness? Emmanuel says, one cannot say that all physical diseases are a result of the mind. But we can all agree that mental processes have a certain effect upon disease. Of course, sickness is present mainly to purify the spirit. Sickness is present mainly to purify the spirit. Beginning in the cradle and following the person throughout their life. In the same category of tests are the congenital constraints, the unexpected mutilations, and the diseases of difficult treatment and cure. They come as a necessary therapy, most certainly planned in advance as means to help the patient. However, in the great majority of cases, diseases are the result of harmful mental reflexes. Affecting the body, which cause malfunctions to the elements that compose it. Every strong emotion which cause malfunctions of the elements that compose it. Every strong emotion that reaches the body is like a hammer blow on a sensitive machine, and all afflictions that are nurtured and maintained are like a malfunction in a machine. Contemporary medical science is already aware of the fact that all mental tension greatly affects the physical body. When there is an inner conflict, most of the times, the salivary glands cease their flow of secretion. The stomach becomes spasmodic and refuses to produce choleric acid that then results in a digestive malfunction, manifesting as mucus colitis. This first stage often opens the door to serious organic disorders. The abnormal state of the gastrointestinal system, if recurrent, will damage the nutritional process that in turn affects the nervous system. Various symptoms then occur, starting from a slight irritation of the gastric membrane on the extreme states of a complex condition of mental imbalance. Depressed thoughts bring sickness to a healthy body and aggravate the condition of a sick body. If it is not advisable to poison the body by the ingestion of dangerous substances, then one must also avoid turbulent states of the soul. Disillusionment and sorrow tend to induce humiliating derangement, which result in constant inner turmoil. To cultivate pain, sorrow, irritation, and grief is to sow magnetic thorn bushes, fertilizing them in the emotional soil of our existence. Thus, poisoning the texture of our physical body, damaging our blood, nervous system, organs, and the very centers of the body, given to us by divine providence to use in the development of our faculties for eternal life. Let us then cultivate understanding and patience, kindness and constructive tolerance wherever we go. Only by paying the price of unceasing mental renewal for good, by noble studies and constant service to mankind, will we be able to escape illness, thus making good use of the gifts of the Lord and avoiding the destructive mental reflexes that cause indirect suicide. Illness. Hello, Luciana and Tuani. Tânia, Stuart, Raquel, grateful to you, Raquel, Marilda, Francisca Kranz, and Hermine, hello, Andrea, hello, Publio, hello from Toronto, Canada, thank you, friends. It's a beautiful community in many different continents. Let's visualize ourselves being united by these bridges of light that are supported by all the loving spirits, and visualize that all of our continents are receiving this shower of healing light that comes from this beautiful and important message. Beautiful. Hermine is sleeping. That's great. So let's go one by one. We're talking about here 10 paragraphs. Usually that's the average in the book. Each chapter is about 10 paragraphs average. But it summarizes it all. Again, why is Emmanuel talking about illness? Because there is a strong correlation between my mind, my mental reflexes, and how it affects my vibratory field, the health of my physical body as well. At the level of evolution on the earth, it's inevitable, right? Sooner or later, we're going to learn with our diseases. And he says here that mental processes have an effect upon disease. So it's very important. Think about the revolutionary way we can empower the new generation by letting them know that what they think affects their body. Let me tell you, for example, one minor example. I was telling some mothers the other day. According to the studies, coughing is about calling the attention for ourselves. And you know, often people go through these illnesses when they cough, especially when they become toddlers. And what is it about? It's trying to tell people, hey, look at me, pay attention to me. So one day we did a test. I told Carlos, let's do an affirmation for Virginia. And then when she was awake, she wanted to talk to Carlos. And he was busy doing something. And then she started coughing. But she had some physical predisposition. And I turned to her and said, you know, if you want Dad's attention, you don't need to cough. Let us insist and say, Dad, let's go there and be patient and ask for his attention. But by coughing, you're just not feeling well yourself. And then she smiled and then stopped coughing, believe it or not. So interesting. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case every case. But observe, you are, as St. Augustine says in chapter 14, item 9 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, you are the scientist of your child. Observe your child from the cradle, and you're going to see many things and how we can help. Emotions. And one day she learned and she said, Mom, I'm going to cough. Because I was not paying attention to her. And I smiled and I said, okay, I got it, but you don't have to. It's okay. So it's very interesting. So we need to observe ourselves. First therapeutic question for us, because this is our inner journey. Emmanuel is giving directions for us to live a better life on this earth. Not because of the comfort in this earth, but to succeed in the reincarnatory plan. So, question. Can you recognize in your physiology, in your companion in this life, Because my body, your body is the companion, the first companion. We're the commanders of these beautiful trillions of cells. So can you observe where in your body usually you feel things when your emotions go to another vibration, attunement? Can you recognize where it is? For some people, their sensitive organ is the head, so they often have headaches when they are worried, when they're concerned, when they're sad, etc. For other people, it's the lungs, so they have asthma. For other people, it's the kidneys, they have kidney stones in moments of crisis in life. For other people, it's the stomach. For others, it's the intestine. For others, it's the skin, so they see eruptions in the skin, etc., etc., etc. So it's important for us to visualize this partnership with the body and how the body is an instrument, like a mirror, reflecting our thoughts and feelings. So being angry at the body, it's not going to work, right? Are you often angry with the body when it's limiting you? Are you angry? Because often people are angry like, but it's not going to help. It's not going to help us. So here we have, sickness is present mainly to purify the spirit. Okay, so then in this case, purify the spirit. And you know, in anthroposophic medicine, so beautiful, and homeopathy as well, they say when little kids, babies get sick, they become feverish, they go through fever. They say, you know, unless it's really, really high, let it be. Why? Because Rudolf Steiner, wise man who created anthroposophic medicine, he observed and he believed in reincarnation. He said, that reincarnating being is adjusting itself in the new body. So fever, it's like fire to the glass that is being molded to create some shape. So then we parents are less, since our children, during the first 7 years of life, they are gradually incarnating. They are born, but they are not reincarnated yet. They're little by little adjusting to the new body. It takes 7 years to say the least. And actually, psychologically, many people are not even reincarnated. Because when it comes to adulthood, often we turn to the old personalities, to the portions of our mind from previous lives, and we don't immerse ourselves in this life. So it really takes a conscious effort to reincarnate. But physiologically, the first 7 years define this immersion, the materialization, I would say this way, the materialization of that reincarnating being through the perispirit and the molecule by molecule connection with the physical body. So now we take a look at fever from a different angle. Not saying we're not going to take measures, but now we understand the behind the scenes. Very interesting. So Emmanuel is telling us it's here to purify the spirit. So if you are sick now, think about, this is something that is helping me purify myself. And purify in what sense? Because the word purification, the root of this word, is about becoming selfless, getting rid of this ego. That if you immerse yourself in the root of the word purification, it brings us to the core of it, which is to catapult ourselves to our essence, which is selfless, because we're divine. I'm not Vanessa. I'm beyond it. Thank God. But I need to feel it and give room to much more than this temporary. As Mentor Joseph said to me one day, remember, in less than 100 years, everything in your life is going to change. Think about this. When we discarnate, things are going to change. So this disease is about what? What is the lesson in this disease? It's helping us become, it's as if, in an analogy, you have a stone, and inside of it, there is a precious stone. So the disease comes like the chisel, ping, 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 to get rid of these unneeded scales, so we can go to the core, the precious stones that you and I are. Disease can do that. Well, it's not enough. Let's go more. Emmanuel says, beginning in the cradle and following the person throughout their life. So, people are born, we celebrate, but we also need to prepare ourselves, because from now to following the grave, many steps. And we cannot panic. Do you panic when illnesses happen? I know somebody who was a spiritist and is a spiritist. Loving mother. She had several children. But you know how she read the illnesses of her children? She said, what am I doing wrong? I go to the center. I devote myself to my children, to my husband, etc. Why are they getting sick? I can't stand it. My friend, the question is, why not? If we are learning in the school of incarnation, diseases are lessons. Do I want to be sick? No, please don't. We don't want to be sick. And that's good, law of preservation. But inevitably, it's going to happen until we evolve to a point that we are not subjected to the density of this matter any longer. But that's only another step, a happy planet. When we purify, we are already pure spirits. That's another time. We're going to get there. We need to aim at it. In the same category of tests are the congenital constraints, the unexpected mutilations, and the diseases of difficult treatment and cure. They come as necessary therapy. Most certainly planned in advance as means to help the patient. Now, in the book Action and Reaction, Andre Lewis reminds us and shares the instructor's understanding that there are 3 types of pain, suffering. One is what he calls pain evolution. It's a certain challenge we go through to catapult ourselves to another step. It's as if you want to graduate, you're going to go through this intense challenge that we may break down with suffering and affliction, but not necessarily. It's all about the meaning. The second, pain expiation. Pain expiation, as any science, we have technical terms. Spiritism is also science. It has technical terms. Expiation is one of them. And expiation is almost like an atonement. It's when we go through that service. That's why Andre Luiz shares the instruction that he received, that pain expiation is a force that is helping us grow from inside out, whereas pain evolutions from the outside in. And there's a third type of pain. Pain, aiding pain, let's say this way, aiding pain. It's when we go through challenges to avoid as merciful opportunities to protect us from incurring in great mistakes. So when you read the book Action and Reaction, we are going to see the cases. Cases, for example, of aiding pain, a heart attack that happens to prevent somebody who is going to make a wrong decision, and there was some form of merit, not only from the person, but others connected to the person that are given as credit. The heart attack comes as a preventive measure so we don't incur in a grave mistake. Are we already seeing diseases, illnesses from a different angle? Yeah. A constant reminder to us sometimes. Okay? If I have a chronic illness, it's a constant reminder. Don't forget to work on this. For example, nowadays there is this huge, diabetes. And diabetes is all about learning how to see the positive and not allow myself to be nostalgic about times we're not living any longer. Psychosomatics say it. Okay? And Andre Luiz, in several books, including Evolution into Worlds, Action and Reaction, and others, gives lots of correlations between thought patterns, illnesses, right? If the Spirit shared with us, why are we not going to study it? Oh, so people don't feel upset, but you shouldn't feel upset. Because and that's lack of humility, because we're here to learn and say, okay, I accept. Fair, I need to work on that. And not say, oh, well, it's hard for me, let's not talk about it. And that's why we get sick, because we don't talk about it. Don't put things under the carpet. Don't put it in the drawer. Look at it. Emotional intelligence. Not afraid of feelings. We need to feel, identify in order to manage. And he says, in the great majority of cases, diseases are the result of harmful mental reflexes affecting the body, causing malfunctions. We need to do another therapeutic moment for us. What are the possible mental reflexes that are creating these symptoms? This chart of my illness, the chart of my illness. What is it? What types of mental reflexes? What are the things that usually we think and feel and think, that are on the behind the scenes? And it may be something that we have been cherishing for millennia. And you know why it's possible? Because we tend to in the conditionings of life to perpetuate it. let me give an example. When you're driving and you say, today I want to make a different route. I want to go through a different route. Do you take the GPS and ask to avoid this, that, and the other? The GPS is there, showing to you. You can see it. And then you get distracted, and when you least expect, you're doing the same old pathway. Okay? Same old pathway. Why? Conditioning. Is this bad? No. Conditioning is good because it secures the learning. You and I are conditioned or conditionable beings. Oh, yes. And that's good because in order to learn, we need effort, repetition. We secure that learning through the conditioning, the creation of the new habit. But Emmanuel says in the chapter about habit, it's vital that we create new habits. Otherwise, we're not going to evolve. So illnesses come to say, get out of your comfort zone. Change your diet. Eat more properly. Exercise. But mostly, change feelings and thoughts. Right? For example, nowadays, we're undergoing a torture every day because of the new scenario of the administration, the politics around the world, everywhere, not only in the United States, everywhere. Many people are like, And the question Mentor Joseph asks is, do you want to join the club of the obsessors and the obsessed? And I said, what do you mean, the club of the obsessors and the obsessed? He said, yes, because if you want to join the club of those who are thinking negatively every day about those politicians who are not fulfilling their tasks, you're joining the club of the obsessors. And if you believe that the world is going bad and there's no hope, you're entering the club of obsessed. Are you gonna enter any of those, Vanessa? I said, no, thank you. And then he reminded me of the importance of helping now by doing the good. Seek the good. Oh, yeah. And you know, today, coming back from Virginia school, he even inspired to those affirmations of Emmanuel by saying, that's health. He said, I wanna seek the good today and every day. I wanna feel the good today and every day. I wanna see the good each and every day. I wanna mold my life to the good today and every day. And that's how we should sing to ourselves the mantra. If I keep my eye, and that's exactly the strategy of the obsessors, to make us feel negative, that the world is going chaotic, etc. Do you think Jesus at the worst time, back in Caesar's time, was focused on Caesar and the misdeeds and the worst administration of all times? No. The cruelty? No. Why? Because he was passive? No. Because he knows the laws of life. He says, you help who needs to be helped. But by sustaining negative thoughts to others who are making choices different than ours is not helping them either. If the guiding model took that route, why are we going to take any different route? Right? Every strong emotion that reaches the body is like a hammer blow. Why? Okay, let's go back to the drawings. Okay, go back to the drawings. Yes, and we put it in pink to make it lighter. Right, friends? Okay. According to Kardec's definition, which makes sense to us, we are spirits. Let's say beautiful sparkle of light. This is us. The perispirit enveloping us. The physical body in another dimension. This is not like this. It's dimensions after dimensions. Connected molecule by molecule to the body. But we are not inside the body. We are enveloped by the perispirit. And the perispirit is connected multidimensionally with the physical body. So, here we have, when I think something, what is happening? I'm radiating energies. It's matter. It's a mental electromagnetic force. And it's emitting particles that are going to affect my physical body, my spiritual body, the perispirit, and naturally is going to be resented in the physical body because of the molecule by molecule connection with the physical body. Right? So, whatever we feel, vibrations, we feel, we vibrate. And then we stimulate new ideas, as he says in the book. And then those ideas promote attitude. And they are going to create a pattern of health or illness. Every strong emotion that reaches the body is like a hammer on a sensitive machine. All afflictions that are nurtured and maintained are like a malfunction in a machine. So he's clearly saying to us that if I cultivate afflictions, if I nourish them, if I feed afflictions, I'm going to do what? I'm going to create malfunction to my machine. Are you afflicted? Should you feel guilty because you're afflicted? No. Should we find solution? Yes. It's our duty. And remember, duty is duty. We must be happy. Oh yeah. You and I are destined to be happy. So it's a constant effort that we need to make. Create a new pathway. New habits. Sometimes when you're adding new habits to your life, you feel strange, like, who am I now? That's why many immigrants have a resistance to the new that they are embracing. Because they get lost. They're like, who am I now? I don't understand. And out of fear, it's just like a turtle. We go back into our own shell. No. I don't want to learn the new. I don't need the new. I'm sorry. No. And then I go back to my... And fear does that to us. Fear. So Melissa is kindly sharing with us. Is it possible to change our feelings and emotions through personal efforts? Or are there cases we must seek professional help? Or does it depend on the level and or the gravity of that feeling and emotion? Thank you, Melissa. So important question. Not trivial at all. Can we change? Is it possible to change feelings, emotions? Of course it is. What do we need? Will. Good will. If our will, the manager and the supervisor of the mind, in all of its departments. Remember Emmanuel saying that chapter 2. Will, as Leon Denis says in the book Afterlife, will is the driving wheels of the soul. So if you want to change the direction, I don't want to feel this, I want to feel that. What do you want to feel? You want to feel something different? You change it. Effort. But when we cannot easily do this, then we need help. Sometimes a friend, a book is our therapy. No wonder Emmanuel told Chico, you are gonna channel all your mediumistic faculties to these psychographies, these automatic writings. This is promoting the healing of the soul. So these books are pure therapy for the soul. Spiritism is the light of discernment. The light of discernment, according to Humberto de Campos and according to Emmanuel. The light of discernment. So these can be the therapy. But then you say, you know, I need help to go through. Then you go for professional help. Is it worthwhile? Of course. It's as if you're feeling constant headache and you don't search for a doctor. You need a doctor. Go talk to the specialist. That's also a humility. Saying, you know, I cannot figure out everything by myself, and that doesn't mean we're not capable. It means teamwork, effort. Remember, 3rd chapter, cooperation. Allow people to do their share in the universe of God. Remember when Chico Xavier was invited to use his mediumship to heal Divaldo Franco of a throat cancer? Did you know the story, friends? It's real. He was there, Divaldo was visiting, and after the services during the night, with other friends, in a room, all dark because ectoplasm is broken down by light, so that's why the middle of the night, etc., to secure it. Sister Sheila materialized through the current that was sustained there, but using mostly the mediumistic efforts or availability of Chico Xavier. And then Divaldo Franco says, Sister Sheila was right there, and she's a nurse, right? She was right there, and she said, Divaldo Franco, this is gonna hurt a little bit, but open your mouth. He opened, and he said that there was like laser light being probed in his throat, and he felt like a shock. She gave him some time and said, now one more time. And she again operated the probe, the laser light probe in his throat. And he was healed. Thank God. Thanks to Sister Sheila. Thanks to Chico Xavier. Divaldo Franco is here. He's gonna turn 90. So we need help. Go knock on the doctor's door and say, I need your help. On your therapist's door, I need your help. Friends are need your help. Don't feel bad. Let people be co-creators. Yes, you're giving them an opportunity. Why not, my friends? Right, Marilda? Yes. So, and he says this in 1958, that medicine is already aware of the mental tension and how it affects the physical body. For example, I read a paper, I think 10 years ago, a scientific paper, talking about how lower back pain is correlated to holding grudges. And back pain is so common. Who doesn't have it? Well, but am I gonna feel guilty? We shouldn't read these findings of science to be guilty. No, it's about responsibility and saying, you know what, I'm gonna change that. Holding grudges? Are you holding grudges, Vanessa? I'm not so sure. Are you, Vanessa? What do you need to do? Let us sit down, meditate. What is holding grudges? Etc., etc., etc. Okay? What is it? And then I go there and say, you know, deep inside I am. The other day, we were counseling. Okay, and you know, these people, nobody's ever gonna know. They will never gonna hear this, and it's always changed. We changed the sex, we changed the case and everything, but the story is the same. It's about a husband who has some issues with the brother-in-law. And then the wife says, but my husband is the mean person because my brother doesn't hold grudges. And then she got to know through her daughter that her brother actually holds grudges but never shared with her. So that's when Emmanuel talks about obsession between incarnates being this struggle, this power struggle between souls. Right? So we really need to look at ourselves and say, where am I holding grudges? And then she said that the brother was having liver problems, but she couldn't see the relationship. And we mentioned, look, liver's about anger. So let us help. You want to help? Help recognize that this tension of these two souls is bilateral. And the body is speaking. So your body is speaking, my body is speaking. Stop and look. Oh, body, what do you want to tell me? Thank you very much. Thank you. Should I work more on this? And work on that. Remember the book by Louise Hay, which is now being deeply studied and recognized by the field of psychosomatics in medicine. Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And it's a beautiful way to discover more about ourselves. And he says here, when there is this inner conflict, most of the times, the conflict of emotions, right? The surface, and like, what do I do with it? Vibrations change, and the connection, the perispirit is absorbing it through its pores, as Kardec says in the book Genesis, and it has connections with the physical body. So it's going to relieve itself, get it out. And in this case, he's giving the example of gastrointestinal changes. But then he comes, depressed thoughts bring sickness to a healthy body and aggravate the condition of a sick body. Depression. Am I being depressed? Work on it. Look at yourself in the mirror, and these are not mere words. It's really feeling, I am divine, I am a child of God. I love and approve of myself, and I'm growing and I'm progressing, and I forgive myself for my shortcomings. I forgive myself for my shortcomings. I forgive and I forget. I forgive and I forget. And I put it aside. I say, you know, thank you very much, but I prefer to believe in the good, right? I want to seek. the good each and every day. I wanna feel the good each and every day. I wanna see the good in you each and every day. And I wanna mold my life to the good each and every day. So I look at myself in the mirror and I say, that's okay, let us pray. And if I'm a little depressed, that's okay, that's okay. Don't feel angry at you because you're depressed, because it's gonna worsen. Some people are more frustrated and it just enhances it. So what can we do? We pray. And then through prayer, we find inspiration, solutions, new ways of seeing and feeling. It is not advisable to poison the body with physical substances. So, disillusionment. Are you disillusioned because of the world scenario? If you are, you're entering the club of the obsessors or the obsessed, or both. And that's going to induce humiliating derangement, which result in constant inner turmoil. Right? So, when we cultivate pain, sorrow, irritation, and grief, and when do we do this? When we're constantly talking to friends about, oh, you have no idea what I went through in my life. My childhood, my parents, this boss, that thing. I mean, one thing is when we ask for help, but in our daily lives, if we cultivate it, naturally we're creating magnetic thorns that will attract poison. And then what is going to happen? We're going to develop illnesses. So he wraps up by reminding us, cultivate understanding, patience, kindness, and constructive tolerance wherever we go. Again, understanding, patience, kindness, constructive tolerance. Constructive tolerance means not feeling entitled to demanding anything from anyone and saying, this is it. No, this is not it. God doesn't tell us that. Let's be constructive in our tolerance. How do we do it? By emitting good thoughts of understanding, of patience, of kindness. And only by paying the price of unceasing mental renewal for the good, unceasing renewal for the good, mental renewal for the good. That's the secret. Non-stop good thinking, positive feeling, noble studies, constant service. Remember yesterday when we were studying obsession, he said the recipe, instructions, and service. And he's repeating here again. Then we'll be able to escape illness and make good use of the gifts of the Lord and avoid destructive mental reflexes that will trigger indirect suicide. The final element for us. Am I committing indirect suicide through the types of mental reflexes that I am having? Am I? Because if I am cultivating pain, sorrow, irritation, grief, hatred, etc., then I am. Can I reverse it? Yes. Melissa kindly sharing with us here the free audiobook of You Can Hear Your Life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Melissa. And what can we do but to cultivate understanding, patience, kindness, and constructive tolerance? Do not enter the club of obsessors and obsessed anymore. Believe in the good. Remember the Master. He's our guiding model. He is telling us, you know what he's telling us every day? Believe that this is a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Even when we die. Because life is not the end. And that's the next chapter. Chapter 29. 30 days of inner journey. What a joy in this journey, huh? Empowering. Nothing's going to let us down. Why? Because this is really a wonderful world. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. Big kiss. Great hug. Let's stay strong in our bridges of this beautiful, beautiful community. And share the news with your friends that this is a beautiful world. Let us keep that in mind and keep building heaven on earth. Until tomorrow, friends. Thank you, Rudy.